You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
It's Vegas. It's rock. It's dogs. It's Vegas Rock Dog Radio. A rock and roll show all about pets, people, and pop culture. Stand by for great guests and cool advice. All in one rockin' hour. The phone lines are open at 702-483-4444. That's 702-483-4444. Now, let's bring on the host. Here is the rock and roll queen of dogs, Sam.
Coming to you live from Las Vegas, it's Vegas Rock Dog Radio. It's a rock and roll show all about pets, people, and pop culture. And we cover it all. Good morning, everyone. It's a great day here in Las Vegas, apart from the wind. It's a very windy time of year. But weather's great. It feels weird to be in the studio with a guest, but our guest is going to be Skyping in all the way from Australia. So it's going to be a fun interview. And I have to thank my guest, Kevin Newman, because I know it's a ridiculous crack of dawn hour in Australia, but let's tell you how we're going to find the show online and some, what do they call it, housekeeping is what everybody likes to call it. It's a little bit of housekeeping. So I'm Sam, I'm your host. I'm known as the queen of rock and roll dogs, and this is how you're going to find the show. Keep adding to the list of social media platforms, and whatever is your favorite, you'll find me there, I'm sure. So the main website is vegasrockdogradio.com. The Ustream, and I'm streaming live, so I'll give you a little wave there if anyone's watching. And yeah, you're lucky I put lipstick on this morning. It's a special day if I put the red lipstick on. So your Ustream is ustream.tv. The channel is Vegas Rock Dog Radio. We do have 2 channels. Make sure you click on the Vegas Rock Dog Radio, or you can actually look at some old shows, I think, if they haven't already deleted them from Ustream. Facebook, Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Twitter, Vegas Rock Dog Show, no W on the end. Or a lot of people follow me on my other Twitter account, which is Vegas Rock Dog, and that's our clothing line account. We have a lot of followers over there. I think we're getting close to 11,000. But I have been on Twitter since almost the beginning, so, and I've earned every single one of those followers. I haven't used any robots or anything like that. So Twitter is Vegas Rock Dog Show, no W, or Vegas Rock Dog. The call-in number is 702-483-4444. That means we're in Las Vegas. And yeah, people do get up early in Vegas, don't they, Chris? Well, me and you do on a Saturday morning at least. I think a lot of people still have hangovers probably and sleeping it off. It's the weekend. You're listening live right now, and you're listening live on VegasAllNetRadio.com. And you can find my show there. You can find all the archive shows too. So if you don't always get a chance to listen in live, or you want to listen again, you can go to the page, scroll down, you'll see all my sponsors there, so it makes it very easy for you to find them, and then you'll see the shows underneath. And it makes it super easy. Plus, you can listen now in an easy way through your phone with one of our apps. So we've got the Android apps and we've got the Apple apps, haven't we? Apple apps. That's hard to say in the morning. Makes it a lot a lot of my Android people will say, I can't listen to you through the website. And then I realized they're Droid users. That was an issue for them. So now they have an app, and I know that it works because people have told me, so that's really good. So you can listen on the go anywhere in the world. Instagram, and I posted quite a few pictures already this morning, is Vegas Rock Dog. Our gear, so if you want to pick up clothing for you and your dog, toys, dog bowls, you name it, collars, bark and roll, dog ties, we've got it all going on at vegasrockdog.com. And a blog, and that's where, I really kind of voice, what I like about some products and services and causes, and that's where all our giveaways happen. And the blog is therockandrolldog.com. That's N, not A-N-D, just an N, rockandrolldog.com. And I've been working Google Plus, not as much as I should, but I actually do like Google Plus, and you can find me at Sam Ratcliffe, and you can find both Vegas Rock Dog and Vegas Rock Dog Radio on there too. So lots and lots of places where you can find the show. So let me tell you a little bit about my guest who's coming on the show. And I've met him. And I met him here in Vegas. Eventually, I always say, everybody eventually shows up in Vegas at some point. So And it can be anyone from people I grew up with in England, they get hold of me and say, do you still live there? And I meet them. And so how I met Kevin was through Blog Pause, the big pet bloggers conference. And we made a point of finding each other at the conference, and he came in all the way from Melbourne, Australia. I have a little Australian connection myself. My auntie and cousins still live in Adelaide. And I'd not seen her since I was 7 years old, when I was a bridesmaid in her daughter's wedding, and I saw her 3 years ago. So many, many years had passed, and she was still the same. It was really, really fun. So that's my little Australian connection. So let me tell you, let's go, I see I digress here. So let me go back to my guest. So my guest is known as that dog dancing guy. I'm sure people go, that dog dancing guy. And I'm sure that's how he got the name. And his name is Kevin Newman. He's got a fabulous blog, and he works with rescue, and he does lots of things. This is a very talented person, I think, who's managed to bring all of his talents together in one arena, which is kind of genius. And I want to welcome to the show Kevin Newman. Are you there, Kevin?
I am here. Good morning.
Oh, that's so great. Because you kind of hold your breath when you think, is it going to connect?
Are they there? Yes.
Because when I Skyped with Carol Bryant before Blog Pause, she'd lost her internet connection altogether. So I had to flip the show and talk about all the stuff at the end of the show, and then we finally got her back. But it was like dread. Like, silence, she's not there.
Yes, it's always that moment you've got to hold your breath.
I know. Isn't technology great, Kevin? Really. I mean, how far away are we? How many miles is it? I'm sure you probably know.
It's about 8,000 miles, I think.
Oh, it's many miles. So how did you, first of all, let's start off by telling everybody your website address.
Yes, no worries. It is thatdogdancingguy.com.au.
Don't forget the AU for Australia. That's really important because, we're so used to the .com, and then we don't think there are other...
That's right. You will still actually get it if you go to .com, I think.
Oh, it will still go through. Oh, that's good. For those that don't remember.
That's only because I got that way, because a lot of Australians don't usually.
Ah, you see, you learn something new every day. Every day. So, Kevin, how did you find out about Blog Pause itself and then decide, I'm going to go across the other side of the world to this pet conference?
Sure. I have been a part of a pet blogging community. I've joined Blog Pause a few years ago, and I think it was just when I started blogging, I started looking online for resources.
Right.
And came across Blog Pause and thought, this looks good, and then joined and have been a member ever since. And I've been working at the shelter. I'm a social media officer for the Lost Dogs Home down here in Melbourne. Mm-hmm. And I've been working at the shelter for about 2.5 years now doing social media there. And Blog Pause has been a great sort of community to get some tips about what to do when I'm there. And I'd always seen this conference, and there's nothing like it in Australia. So I thought, I have to go one year. And I kept asking work, can I go? And eventually everything aligned, and I managed to get over there.
That's great. The thing is, you probably joined Blog Pause at the very beginning, without even knowing it was the very beginning, probably.
Yeah, that's right. I probably did, actually.
Which I think is great. When you kind of it's like Twitter, I say I got in on the beginning when people were like, what is that, And,
yes, when you're there from the start.
Yeah, and it's kind of exciting when you see how far it's grown, So I'm so glad you came, because wasn't the conference great?
It was incredible, and it was so great to meet, just to meet everybody and to be able to put faces to names that I've seen and heard, and just getting the connections and just learning so much as well. So I'm still going through it all back here at home, trying to.
I know. I called it the Blog Pause hangover.
Yeah.
I still haven't quite recovered. I mean, it is a lot of homework once you get home, isn't it? I mean, I'm looking at my swag bag and I'm thinking, I have yet to blog about these products, because, it took me days to just enter in all the business cards. I mean, it's one of those things, and I think it was one of the best pieces of advice that Carol gave in one of her blog posts, which was, get on it straight away. It's fresh in your mind. Otherwise, you won't do it. Stuff gets in the way. And I just made it my mission. I'd go and park. Even though I work from home, I parked myself over at a Starbucks, and that was my mission. And I did. And it's been really beneficial, because it's nice to be able to email the entire group of people that I met. And I'm like, hey, Blog Pause friends, my guest today is Kevin, which I did this morning. And I think that just when people know that you have that connection, it just really, really helps, the way that people engage with you. So I'm just really, really thrilled. And I still have a garage full of products that a lot of the vendors gave me at the end of the event because they didn't want to take them back, and with me being local.
Course, yeah.
And that's actually going to help rescues. And I'm going to be doing a big event I'm going to tell you all about later that they will go towards and actually help raise money for rescue. But yeah, I loved the conference. I thought it was a great week for good weather. And like you say,
it was really nice over there at that time.
Yeah, like you say, putting a face to a name. I mean, I'd known Carol for 5 years through social media, and I'd never met her until we went to Blog Pause. She didn't even know.
Great thing, isn't it?
She didn't even know I was English. She was like, I know. Oh my gosh, I had no idea this accent. Because she'd done some stuff with me before for events and stuff where she provided me with some prizes and, that kind of thing. So, but it was just great finally to, connect. Now, did you see her good news this week? Did you see?
I did.
Can you believe that? Oh gosh, for anyone that's listening, Carol Bryant from A Fidos of Reality, she basically looked up in the sky, saw an aeroplane go by with a big sign that says, "Please marry me, Carol Bryant." And she was whisked off to get married right there and then. And I just thought, oh my gosh, it was just exciting following it on Facebook, didn't you think? It was like this live event that was happening. And, on the very same day, friends of mine who were former guests, Jeff Young, who was with Megadeth, and his girlfriend at the time, Sherry Klein, they were on the Randy Rhoads tour actually for the last couple of weeks, and they got engaged on the same day. So it was just a really good day on social media. Don't you love those days, Kevin, when like everything clicks and happy stories,
That's right. It's just a really nice day. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I just it's always good to be happy for people, when they get what they want. So
That's
what
right.
time is it there right now in Australia?
It is 3 a.m.
Oh, I owe Kevin something. Because you know what? But then you know what? I have a tendency to come in at those times. So sometimes I'm just still awake. That makes it easier. You should have just partied last night and stayed out.
I should have just partied last night, but I might have sounded a bit different.
We'll just stay out till 3. Now, I'm going to assume that your dogs are still in bed, yeah?
The dogs are still in bed.
So you've got Cinder, Sprocket and Luna, is that correct?
Yes, so Luna is, she's with me part-time. We have a shared custody arrangement.
Yeah, it's something you do have to think about, isn't it? I mean, because I'm not giving my dogs up permanently.
That's right.
I'm just not, it's just like your kids, so I'm glad you worked out your arrangement. I have a lot of friends have the same situation, the exact same situation. So she's a little part-time. I bet they get excited when Luna comes over, though.
They do a lot, and she's a typical beagle, so she doesn't pay any attention to anyone first. She goes and sniffs everything.
Right.
And then once she's sniffed everything, she'll come and talk to you.
Oh, she's got her agenda first. She's doing her thing first.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Then. Oh, my gosh. Now, how old are all the dogs?
So Luna is 3, Cinder is just past 2, and she's a border collie, and Sprocket is a little terrier, and we think he's about 10 months old.
Oh, so they're all young.
Yeah, they're all fairly young, so that's makes things interesting. But it's good because it keeps them they're all around similar ages, so they've all got similar personalities, and they're all highly trainable.
Oh, yeah, because you know what? My Galaxy's 9, and Thornton's 8, and then Mr. Twix is maybe a year old. And he irritates Galaxy because she's 9. She wants a peaceful life. When he starts running up and down, the zoomies, she gets so mad.
Yes,
she barks at him like, just stop running around. So I would think that definitely having them close in age helps. Are they chewers? Do they chew? Because Mr. Twix is a chewer.
At the moment, the only one that chews so much is Sprocket. He's into the chewing at the moment.
Yeah, Mr. Twix chewed my Carlos Santana shoes.
Oh dear. I did see the picture online.
It was my fault though. I mean, I did leave my closet door open. I do know better, but, but you're like, you know that when it's silent, then you're like, what are they up to?
There's something going on.
It's too quiet. And then for me, that dread came over me. I think I've left the door open to my closet. And sure enough, there he was running around. He'd ripped all the leather off the heel of the shoe. And, and I really like those shoes, Kevin.
Yes, exactly.
It's not right.
Well, I had the problem that I accidentally left the cupboard open where their food is located, and Sprocket broke into his food container, and he ate his fill and then came into the lounge room looking a bit chubbier than usual. And feeling a bit sorry for himself because he was hurting because he'd eaten too much.
No. You see, I think when I sometimes put the food out, well, I put the food out in the morning, and I have a sofa in my kitchen. People think it's the craziest thing ever. But I have this sofa, so I put the 3 bowls out, yeah. And he's like Goldilocks, is Mr. Twix. He gets up on his back legs, and he samples every single bowl, you know. And then if, like you say, if you forget to, like, put the lid down on the food container, boom, the whole head's in there. But yeah, he has his funny little routine in the morning. And that one picture I have of him with those 3 bowls, his head looks massive. He looks deformed.
Yeah.
It's like, he's one of those, I never had a dog I had to groom. All my dogs are short-haired. I only take them over to Lulu's to get their nails done, and that's it. And then I find the most filthy, matted dog you could ever find, who had to be shaved down. And I'm having to groom him around about every 3 weeks. I mean, this dog's hair grows like crazy. But yeah, when the head grows out, he looks like a dandelion head.
Yes.
It's like massive. But I love that dog. He's ridiculous. He goes to a different groomer from my other dogs because on the day that I found him, and I do know tons of groomers, of course, because of what I do. But a lot of my friends just was like, oh my gosh, we can't take him. We are fully booked. And, we can get him in the morning. I thought, I can't bear the thought of him looking like this for another day, poor dog. Yeah. And it was my friend Megan. She has the blog livepantplay.com. And she's the one that was like, I can take him. And it was late at night. I think it was like 8 o'clock at night. And so I felt it was only right because she did step up and she's the only one that could take care of him. And it took her 2 hours to groom him that he should stay with her, And my other groomer, they're friends of mine, Joni over at Lulu's, I mean, she was totally understanding. Everybody was understanding, So I just think it's only right, She stepped up for him. He's connected to her now. And so that's where he went yesterday. Some dogs get scared of grooming. Oh, no, not Mr.
Yes.
Twix. She posts a video of him rolling on his back. He's hamming it up for the camera. I said,
he was loving it.
He's a hysterical little dog. But I'm really glad that he's in my life, I tell you. He's just a very, very sweet dog, apart from eating the shoes.
Except when he's at Blog Pause and he tries to be not too friendly.
Yeah, he wasn't very nice. He was because he's never been around people. Well, he has only ever lived with us.
Yeah,
but there are some people that's like, oh, I really, really like you. And there's some people that's like, oh, I just hate you based on nothing. He has nothing to go on. And yeah, that you had a sample of that. The Jekyll and Hyde of Mr. And it's very deceiving because you know how beautiful he is in his lashes and how sweet he looks at the camera. And then you're like, oh, he tried to rip my face off.
That's right, yeah. He looks at you lovingly and he's like, oh yeah, we can be friends, and then
I know. It's a test, Kevin. It's a test. But he's getting a lot better. Where did I take him today? Oh, I took him across the street to see my neighbour's mom, and she's, oh my gosh, I think she's 93. And I thought, ooh, I kept him at a distance, but he just clicked, loved her. So you never kind of know, but I think it's just a matter of time and experience. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I try to take him as many places as possible. And when people come up to him, I'm like, you know what? You have to come really quiet to him because he could just flip out. But he's learning. So, and he's still really, really young. So,
that's right. And he might have missed a lot of that, critical socialization as well.
Well, this is it. It wasn't till after we actually caught him and everybody knew of him in the park. Everybody. The park keeper, he says, oh my gosh, he's been here for months and months and months. We just couldn't catch him. So, he definitely, I think all he knew were people chased him, like animal control, the park keeper guy. A lady would come down every week and try and catch him because she felt bad. And numerous people had done this. And so I think that was his full experience was, oh my gosh, people are just like running at me, and that's why he was fast. He's a fast runner, that dog. But I think there's a big chunk missing there. So we're starting, from scratch. And the thing is, I only have one rug in my entire house, and of course that's the rug he wants to pee on. Do you know what I mean?
Of course, yeah.
But he doesn't know any better because he only lived outside.
That's right.
He just peed when he needed to pee. So we're doing some training with him, and he's doing really, really well. And he's learning from the girls and stuff. But I'm like, just the one rug. I'm glad I've got wooden floors. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, you forget about they've just, he's about a year old, and they'd said he'd been there at least 5-6 months. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, this is a dog that ate trash. This is a dog that had a pile of trash because he likes to gather things. And this is a dog that would go to the sprinkler system under the bushes, the little drips, and that's how he got a drink. So he learned how to survive, but he missed a big chunk of growing up. You know, like those celebrities, those child stars, go, I was never a child.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, well, he's making up for it right now. Cheer my shoes up. So let's talk. I read about you a little bit like a stalker there, Kevin. You know, so you have an acting background.
I do.
And I think that plays right into the performing that you do with the dogs.
It does.
I love that you're a photographer. I love how everything is come together in one arena for you.
I've been really lucky.
Yeah, you are really, because I mean you're not pigeonholed into, well, I do this, but I would love to have done that, but I don't know how to make those work together. And I think you've actually you kind of proof that you can do that. You know, you don't have to stick with one thing, but they all work very, very well together. So I want to talk about your dancing, because I watched the one video about the front leg weave.
Oh, yes, how to teach it.
Yeah, with Mr. Twix. And you know what? It's really simple. Unless you see the video, then you go, how am I going to get my dogs to weave in and out of my legs? But your video, I thought, was brilliant. So when did you decide? Do you have a dance background as well?
I have a musical theatre background.
Okay, that all makes sense. So you sing too?
Yes, I do.
Well, you know you're now going to come out with this video. You know that.
And I wasn't really, you know, I was an actor, but I was an actor with a musical theatre background. In terms of dancing, I never did any formal dance stuff, but everyone was always like, that guy can move. You know, he's got some moves, so that's good.
It absolutely is. So when did you decide, I'm going to dance with my dog?
Okay, so I saw a video probably 3 years ago now. There's a routine to a Grease medley by Caroline and Rookie.
Yes, I know exactly the video.
You would have seen that one.
Yep.
If you haven't seen it, guys, it's definitely worth checking out.
We'll post that, definitely.
It's an amazing routine. It's an incredible routine, and that's really what got me going, oh my God, I want to be doing something like that. Because you can just see the joy in that dog, how much fun he's having, and the bond that they have between them. And because that's what I'm all about. Like, this is such a way to have that bond with your pet. It
is, because, I think it's very easy to say, I'm busy, we've done our 2 walks or 3 walks, and it's very easy to get very busy and fill up your time with other things. But like you said, that bonding is really important. Like when I brush my dogs, oh my gosh, do they love that time together?
Exactly.
And that's what I got from your videos. I was like, wow, it's just them two. It's just them two doing their thing. And that connection and just being happy about what you're doing. And I just think it's really great. I mean, really, really great. I did. I looked at your videos. Now, you've won some awards, haven't you?
Yeah. So Cinder and I, she started training in dog dancing when she was 4 months old.
Oh my gosh.
And being a border collie, she's obviously very quick to learn a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We do trick demonstrations at sort of, we have, Midsummer Carnival down here, which is a big gay lesbian festival. So we do trick demonstrations, trick competitions there.
Wow.
We also compete in dog dancing as well. So we've currently got our starters title, and we're going up to trying to get our novice title.
Oh my gosh.
I need one more pass to get it, and hopefully we'll get that in about 2 weeks' time.
I just think it's really fun. But like you say, you watch people who do dance with their pets or compete with their pets, in whether it's flyball, whatever, and that connection is very, very apparent. And I think it's really nice just to see that, Well, listen, hang on the line there, Kevin, because we're going to run some commercials and listen to some of our sponsors. Then we're going to come back and talk even more. And we're going to cover what you do with the Lost Dogs Home. So we'll be right back. You're listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio with me, Sam, your host, the queen of rock and roll dogs.
We'll be right back, right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Pet Life Radio, the #1 pet radio network on the planet, joins forces with iHeartRadio to put the power of your pets in your pocket. Awesome. Download the iHeartRadio app and rock Pet Life Radio on your phone, on your tablet, on your Xbox, in your car. Pet talk, pet tunes, and fun pet times. Pet Life Radio and iHeartRadio. Positively Possum.
It's dinner time in America. where more pet parents trust PetSmart for natural and expert recommended foods than any place else. And now, we've added more than 100 new varieties to our already wide selection of your favorite brands, like Simply Nourish, Authority, Wellness, Science Diet, and more. Do what's best for your pet. At PetSmart, happiness in store.
Go to PetSmartDeal.com to find out this week's coupon code and save up to 30% on food, treats, toys, and more. And get free shipping on orders of $49. Go to PetSmartDeal.com. PetSmartDeal.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Now, let's return to Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Here again, your host, the rock and roll queen of dogs, Sam.
Okay, and we're back. You're listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio with me, Sam, your host. I am the queen of rock and roll dogs. And my fabulous guest today is Kevin Newman. Are you still there, Kevin?
Yes, I am.
Oh, it's just a wonderful thing.
All still working.
We're still connected. It's just fabulous. So, Kevin has the website, thatdogdancingguy.com.au. AU means Australia. We are Skyping in with Kevin in Melbourne. And how's the weather there? You're in winter?
We are in winter at the moment. It's just getting colder. We've been having quite an unusual warm start to winter. But
right.
It's starting to get cold and rainy.
Yeah, because I have a friend who also lives in Melbourne. And, so when she's wearing a bikini, we're not. And when we're wearing bikinis, she's not, So, in fact, it's someone I grew up with. Went to school and, you reconnect with people many years
absolutely.
later on Facebook, Often, though, I don't remember a lot of people. Because I didn't, what we did is we didn't socialize with school friends. Because we went to theatre school. Just like you did.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was our, they were our friends and our social side, So there was a point where I would get these friend requests and it would say, oh, they went to Chaucer School. And I'm like, I don't remember the person. So I'd have to ask my twin sister. And she would say, yeah, I think I remember them, But so that's kind of how we ask each other. Because sometimes she's like, I have no idea. I'm like, oh, you don't remember, blah, blah, blah. So I've reconnected a lot of people. And Tina, she's out there too. She's been there a while. And one of these days, I think we'll all re-meet back in England again, because I think we're due for a reunion. I've never gone back to any school reunions. Have you done any of those?
No, I have one this year, though. My 10-year reunion is finally coming up. So.
Mine will be a few more years than 10, Kevin. But yeah, I've not been to any of them, so I don't know. Maybe I can gather a few people together next year because I'm going back to renew my wedding vows. And
lovely.
But really our reunion we do is with everybody that went to the theatre school. That's who we all get together with every single year. So wouldn't it be terrible to get rid together and go, oh, who's that person again? I can't remember them. That would be terrible, wouldn't it? So let's talk about the social media management that you do for the Lost Dogs Home. And it's not just dogs, is it, that they take in?
No, we take in dogs and cats. We do get other animals coming in as well. We've had everything from guinea pigs, rabbits to sheep and goats. There was once an emu that came in as well, quite a while ago.
You see, you've got a whole different set of animals than what we do, because we're like coyotes and bighorn sheep, and now we're talking kangaroos, emus.
That's right.
So you basically won't turn any away?
No, we won't turn any away. We're an open door shelter, so we take every single animal that comes to us, and it just depends. We only adopt out dogs and cats,
right.
But we will sort of find rescue organisations or other shelters or farm sanctuaries for the other animals that come in.
Now you're one of the biggest organisations out there, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. So we deal with about 31,000 dogs and cats each year.
Okay.
So we're about the second largest animal welfare organisation in Victoria.
And how big is the facility?
We've got quite a large facility in Melbourne where we are. We have been there for about 100 years as well, so one of the longest running facilities as well.
I saw that. Was it 1913 or 1910?
1913 was when everything started, yeah.
Gosh.
And We've got a couple of shelters in Victoria, as well as at the moment a couple of shelters in other states as well. So quite large.
What a great history, though. I mean, and it just shows that, you know, this is something that's ongoing. And I mean, and you know, a lot of rescues start up and then financially they can't keep going, you know, and it makes it really difficult. And I think one of the things that rescues miss out on or don't think about, because they're definitely driven on passion, that's for sure. But really, you've got to have that business side down. How are we going to bring money in? You know, how do we make it efficient, you know, to get, you know, spay neuter, blah, 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 those kind of things, you know, building that network before you even really get started, I think is really important. And I think they also need to take a course on fundraising. And my friend, Hannah Elizabeth, and she's big in rescue here in town, helps a lot of people. She posted this the other day. She was like, you've really got to hone in those fundraising skills, you know. And I've been, cause I do the social media for the Hot Diggity Dachshund Rescue, and we've been focusing a lot on online fundraising, you know, where we don't need a lot of personnel. We don't have to find a facility. We don't have to worry about transportation. And then there are costs that are incurred through putting these events on, you know. And it pays off. I mean, we have Doxy Dollar Days. You know, we ask people for $1. You know, because a lot of people feel embarrassed, like, oh, I can only donate $1. Well, we're like, no, that's all we're asking for. And we do really well on those days. And I've seen $5 Fridays, I've seen $3 Thursdays. And, you know, I think it really, really, really helps. But for the Lost Dogs Home to have a history of 100 years is really impressive. I think I'm going to have a big celebration this year. Oh, no, it would have been last year, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we did have a big celebration last year. We had a pet fest. So we closed off the street in front of the facility where we are, and we had a whole bunch of stands, and a lot of people came down and check it out. We did a whole bunch of different stuff over the course of the year for our centenary year. So it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun as well. It's worth
it, you know, and to celebrate being around for 100 years and making a big difference still is amazing, you know. The website is dogshome.com, is that correct?
That is correct. We also have, if you're interested, we have a history website. So we did history.dogshome.com, which covers everything over our last centenary and gives a real history of the home as well.
Oh, gosh, you know what? I do miss my history. I have to tell you, Kevin, you know, not living in England anymore. I mean, and Vegas, when you think about Vegas is a very, very new city when you think about it, you know, and you crave that history and how did it get started? And there's a dog's home in Manchester that's over 100 years old too, back in England, not far from where I'm from. And it is just to know, like, how did that get started? You know, how did this get started? It's still going, and and the people that have gone through there, and the pets that have gone through there, and the progress. I mean, I'm sure 100 years ago they had no idea that you and I would be talking about it on radio.
That's right.
Do you know what I mean? And social media stuff. I mean, it's quite amazing, really, what happens in a few decades. You know, but I will definitely check that out because I say I love history, and I think it's really good to see what the roots were. You know, how it all got started and why it's still here today. I think it's great. So how long have you been with them?
So I've been at the Lost Dogs Home for about 2.5 years now. So I when I was blogging, actually, with my first blog, which was all about Luna the Beagle, before I had Cinder, I got asked by them to come along. I was training at we have a training school. I was training at the training school, and they had obviously seen what I'd been doing online with my blogging and everything. And they said, hey, did you want to come and help us out? We are currently getting into social media. We don't really have an idea of what we're doing here. You seem to know what you're doing. Did you want to come along?
That is the smartest thing they could have ever have done, which was, this is not our area of expertise, and we like what you do, and you can help us. I think
that's right.
I mean, I know I am definitely the DIY kind of person. You know, I'll learn how to do Photoshop. I'll learn, and that is me to a T. But there are some people that's like, you know, if it's really not your forte and you're really not going to study it, because social media is so much more, as you and I know, than just, I put a post up. There are so many, like, tactics that you can use and things you should avoid doing because, you know, particularly Facebook, half the time you don't even know the rules because they change them so much. But, you know, just things like, you know, when you say please share, and apparently Facebook doesn't really like that, so they don't really let all your viewers see that stuff, or people that write your viewing, like, don't tell me what to do. You know, so those little tricks, I mean, just on Twitter alone, if you actually write out, please retweet, the chances of it getting retweeted are so much higher than PLS
That's right.
RT. So there is a lot more, and I think rescuers are certainly realizing the benefit of social media. But if it's something that your rescue can't devote the time to, find someone that'll do it for you in a really great way, because that's when you will get amazing results. I mean, when I look at it, every single dog that we post, of course, we're a small rescue for Hot Diggity, but every single dog we post gets adopted. Every single one of them.
Exactly.
So it's effective, and it's how people are looking for the pets these days, isn't it, Kevin?
Yeah, and as I said, they hadn't had a social media officer before, so I was the first social media officer there as well.
You're going to be part of the history. You're going to be part of the history when it's 200 years old. You're going to be in that hit that line. I love it.
So it's been really great because, as you said, just having a feel for it and knowing what you're doing is a bit different, but you learn as you're going along as well, and best practices, and it changes every day, and it's something you've got to stay on top of, which is why going to somewhere like Blog Pause is really good as well, in terms of not only for my own benefit for my blog, but also for my work that I do with the shelter. Just being able to learn so much more about social media and how to put that into perspective of pets and animal welfare and everything.
It's very specific, it's and blogging is a big general thing, but when you start getting down to those niches, you really have to do things in a little bit of a different way, because most of the time we're saying, please give us money, or please share this information, or please, and so you do have to build, I think, a very different kind of relationship with the people that follow you. I think you have to be very strategic for it to be very, very effective. And it can certainly take a lot of your time, putting it all together. Now, one thing I did see that you do on the Lost Dogs homepage is you do the Pet Superstar for the day. Tell me about that.
So Pet Superstars, one that we did to highlight dogs that have been adopted from the Lost Dogs home. Yeah. As well as doing dogs that are up for adoption as well. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to sort of highlight people that have adopted from us, and to really give them that idea of, hey, I'm still part of the Lost Dogs home community. Yeah. I'm still going to be sharing my pets. And we love those post-adoption stories because obviously in Australia, and probably in America as well, there's still a lot of myths about shelter pets. So people still think, they're damaged, or they've got behavioural issues or something like that.
I think the biggest, what's damaged are the people that dump them. They're flawed in their makeup. They are flawed that you would just abandon anything, and it makes me wonder, well, if abandoned pets, they probably abandon projects, they don't stay in jobs very long, because there's a big emotional tie to that, and I don't know how it happens, because for me, it's like, well, if you get a pet, I was really serious about it, like, do I have time, made the commitment.
That's right. Yeah.
And I guess there's a bunch of people that don't make that commitment, or they don't have the, what's the word, the ability to see things through,
That's right.
And it is, and those myths, like you say, can be very damaging, because people go, oh, I'm not going down there because everybody's a mess. But it's not the case, is it, Kevin?
No, absolutely. And a lot of the dogs and cats that come into the shelter, they're through no fault of their own. Well, as you said, it's something to do with their owners.
Yeah.
And so, they might be divorcing, or they, kids, or anything like that. Moving house and can't take the pet with them, just didn't think about it long term, that kind of thing.
Yeah, or didn't want to pay to move the pet with them.
That's right.
It's hard for you and I to believe, but we do have to be around people like that. And then I think what happens is, as much as we all get a bit upset, annoyed, I think once they get in our hands, then we do the right thing for them.
That's right.
And like you say, it's lovely to get those stories from the pets that you have adopted out, because it's like, here's the happy ending, it all ends well, once you get adopted. You
want people to know that this is the end outcome. These dogs are having great lives. These cats are having fantastic lives.
And they're not.
We have some that are over in America as well, that people have moved overseas and taken their pets with them.
Wow.
Because they just can't stand to not. So we've got, there's a beagle that I know that lives in San Fran. There's a greyhound that went across, I think he's in New York.
You see? Isn't that
there's
great?
There's some in London. It's just fantastic. And people write to us. My mum actually just moved states. She moved to about 2,000 kilometres away from where I am right now, and she took her dogs with her, of course, because she wasn't gonna not.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely, you know, a lot of us don't understand, but we love sharing those stories just so people can see, you know, you need to be thinking about this long term, but your dog's going to live an amazing life with you.
And it's possible to move with your dog across the other side of the world. You know, I mean, I've got, of course, my dog's, Twix, maybe Twix might be just a little too big to even be in the cabin. So I already researched it. If we ever move back to England, we're going on the QE2. They've got luxury kennels on there. They get an ambassador.
Lovely.
They get a bed with the name embroidered on it. I mean, that
sounds amazing.
That's how I'm doing it. I mean, and if you're going to move, hey, you know what? That's beats sitting on a plane, trust me. I mean, you don't have the ability to run around the ship with the pets because there's a special deck for them, but you can go down all day, every day, see them, play with them, and they're looked after, and, you know, and it's a great alternative, although there aren't many kennels. So what you have to do is you've got to book way ahead of time. But if you're moving countries, you know way ahead of time probably that you're moving, you know. Or in my case, I would just wait till the kennels open up. I'd be like, Jim, I'll see you in 5 years when a kennel opens up.
Yeah, when I can bring Twix across, it's fine.
Yeah, because I'm like,
see you there.
Because none of my three are going to fit in anything, you know. So, and I think, like you say, it shows it's possible. And it shows you, although they may have looked scared, you know, in a shelter because it's a new environment, it's scary to them, that to see these happy stories. I mean, I had one of the Michael Vick's dog's owners on the show, and you know, people are, oh my gosh, you know, and he did have to fight for his life. He had no choice. And then you see Oscar laying on the couch all chilled there. I mean, it's just fantastic. You know, so when people say, oh, they can't be, and his owner doesn't like to say rehabbed, which was like, what we're rehabbing from, like being an alcoholic. Well, no, he's just recovering, you know, from a life he was put into that he didn't choose to be in, but he's recovering, you know. And so I think they're a prime example, the Michael Vick dogs, and they call them the victory dogs because they, you know, they did get out of that hellhole. But it just shows you, if, you know, with the right owners, the right situations, and I mean, no one needs to step up and take a fighting dog, you know, because that's, you know, you've got some work on your hands, and there are amazing people that did that, and they've got great pets now. So I never buy them, like I say, the myth of everybody's broken, they'll always be a mess forever, you know. You've just got to take a chance on them, you know, because they will thank you for it, you know. Now, let's talk about you know what, let's take a quick break, because I want to talk about your radio show too. Sure. We'll take a quick break, we'll listen to some words from our sponsors, and then we'll come back and talk to Kevin Newman, that dog dancing guy, about his radio show in Australia. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back, right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Dogs leave fur wherever they go. It collects all over the home. There are many tools designed to stop dog hair spreading, but their effectiveness varies, and afterwards you have to clean the tool, then the floor. With the Dyson Groom Tool, you simply deploy the bristles, then gently brush the coat. Loose fur is removed, while dead skin and allergens are captured by the vacuum. And to clean up, you simply release the trigger.
To get this awesome Dyson Groom Tool, go to DysonDeals.com. That's DysonDeals.com.
Hi, this is Teody Anderson, and I'm the host of Get Positive Results on Pet Life Radio. We're going to talk about a variety of topics on canine behavior and training, all based on modern methods that are fun for you and your dog. We might be talking about other critters too, so join us on Get Positive Results. We'll talk about common issues between you and your dog, answer your questions, discuss different activities you can do with your dog, and keep you posted on current canine news and products. All this on Get Positive Results on Pet Life Radio.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com. This is Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Vegas Rock Dog Radio. The phone lines are open at 702-483-4444. Now let's bring back the host. Here is the rock and roll queen of dogs, Sam.
All right, and we're back. You're listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio with me, Sam, your host, the queen of rock and roll dogs, and my special guest, Skyping in all the way from Melbourne, Australia, is Kevin Newman. Are you there, Kevin?
Yes, I am.
Great. Now, just hang on 1 second. I want to do a little announcement of a very fabulous event that me and my friend, Pen Webb, of Rocking for Rescues are putting together. So, Vegas Rock Dog and Rocking for Rescues are doing this big collaboration, and we're doing a fabulous rock and roll golf and social tournament. We haven't got a name for it yet. We're working on a name. But it's going to be August the 9th at Spanish Trail Country Club. Very fancy pants, you know. And we're going to have, for those that don't golf, we're going to have a social ticket as well, aside from that. So golf, the check-in will be at 6:30 a.m. because golfers get up and do that, and they will start the game at 7:30. They'll wrap up around about 12 noon, and then our social event starts from 12 to 3. So we are looking for fabulous sponsors. We're looking for swag bag sponsors, breakfast sponsors, lunch sponsors, you name it. We're just looking for sponsors. We've got a great list already of amazing volunteers, and if you'd like to volunteer with us, we have very specific positions for everybody to fill, and it's going to be very organized and very, very tight, because we want to be the most successful fundraiser that Vegas has seen for dog rescue. We're going to be benefiting 4 rescues. We have not announced them just yet, but I think everybody will be very happy to find out who they are. We know them personally. We've worked with them very, very closely, and you know, you're going to be able to bid on signed guitars, signed rock star photography, you name it. It's going to be amazing. And we'll have entertainment too. My husband, James Rigo, is going to be producing that. And so I told him this week anyway. And so that's what he does. So he has to help me because he's my husband. So that's going to be August the 9th. That's the rule. You're my husband, you just have to help. And that's a Spanish Trail Country Club here in Las Vegas. We have people flying in from Chicago to come and play in this tournament. And we want to sell out big time. I've always believed in just go big or go home. So that's our big event. And there's a special event going on today, and it's at the Desert Springs United Methodist Church, and it's called Reading with Rascal. So Rascal is a dog, and it's from 10 to 2. No, it's not from it's from 10 to noon, and they do that, I think, the second Saturday of the month. Take your kids. The only rule is that you have to be behaved, and I think they're talking about the kids and not the dog. So, so that's happening today. My rescue of the week, of course, has to be the Lost Dogs Home in Melbourne, Australia, and that is www.dogshome.com. And I want to say a big thank you to our sponsors, because without them, the show would never happen. And they're all pet-loving businesses, and so if you're looking for products and services, take a look at them first before you look at anyone else. And next week's show, we've got Janice Redondo coming on from Wendy's Ranch and Rescue, and we're going to have a little potbelly pig come in the studio. So I love. Hey, you know what? I wish we could get we could get a kangaroo, because we've got the Roosevelt Zoo here, Kevin. But I don't know. I see how they can like punch you, those kangaroos. So it may not be the right environment, a radio studio.
Yeah, probably not a great idea to get a kangaroo in the studio.
It's like, what? Yeah, you've got a whole different set of issues going over there with your kinds of animals. So we've got a couple of minutes left. Tell everyone what your radio show website is and when it happens.
Sure. We have a show called Pets Aloud, which is on Joy. So that's joy.org.au. And you can also check out the program grid and find Pets Aloud. It's on a Friday at noon, so I'm gonna not guess what time that is Vegas time, but I think it's about 6 a.m. or 5 a.m.
You know what? I will
time.
find a converter and I will post it and tell people when it's on our time.
But you can also catch the podcasts online.
That's what I did.
Podcasts at all.
That's what I did. I listened to your show. Yeah. I'm one of those hosts that actually just check on my guests.
Excellent.
Little stalkerish, you know. How many minutes have we got left, Chris? Couple of minutes? Ooh, 3. Right. Let me just close out the show, and then we're going to say a big... Well, actually, one last thing, Kevin. What's next for you? Because I mean, you're doing a ton of stuff, but what have you got in mind? Anything top secret?
Yeah, that's a very, very good question. At the moment, I am currently training to be a dog trainer myself, so that I can actually take classes and start teaching more people about canine freestyle and dances with dogs, because I just think that bond that you can share with your pet by doing it is fantastic. So
I agree.
Expect more training videos, expect, a lot more from me in the future.
And I love your photography, by the way. I have to tell you that.
Thank you.
It's really lovely. I mean, you really capture the spirit of your dogs, and I think it's you've been able to pull everything together. So you have great photography on the blog. You've got the great dancing videos. I'm really thrilled you're going to be a trainer too, because it just makes sense, doesn't it, really?
It does, yeah.
You know, it just seems like a natural progression. Well, hang on there while I just close out the show, because this is how we like to close it out every week. We like to say, remember, you can help a pet in need, either rescue, adopt, donate, volunteer, or share their information. Always rescue your family members, so make sure your next one has fur or feathers or something like that, or scales. Replace the word shop with adopt, and be kind to all animals. You know, there's not a hierarchy. It's you love all animals. It's really important that we view them in that way, because then if we do, then we won't see so many animals get dumped and stuff. You know, so it's really important that we be kind to all animals. I want to thank Kevin for being on the show and getting up so early to do this interview with me. But it's been a thrill, Kevin, I have to say.
Yes, thank you for inviting me. It's been fantastic.
Tell us your website one more time.
It is thatdogdancingguy.com.au. You can also find me on Facebook as well. Just search for That Dog Dancing Guy.
Will you be in Nashville next year?
I'm thinking about it at this point. I'm not quite sure just yet how everything's going to go, but
Kevin.
It's quite possible.
I think we need a performance from you, but I don't know. You're going to have to find another dog if you can't bring your dog over. Mr. Twix, there you go. I'll work on him for you.
The lovely Mr. Twix, yes.
I want to say a big thank you for Skyping in with us. I think it's been a great interview. I see big things for you coming in the future, more than you're already doing. And I see you with your own show eventually, honestly, a TV show. Yeah, you'll be doing it all.
Thank you so much.
But thanks so much. Say hello to your puppies for me. And,
I will when they wake up.
I'll see you on social media.
See you there.
Thanks, Kevin. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
I want to say a big thank you to Chris for running the show today. And remember, you've been listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio, where it's all about pets, people, and pop culture. And I'm your host, Sam, the Queen of Rock and Roll Dogs. Remember, kiss your pets good morning and good night, and have a great weekend. See you next week.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.